Hi, I am Elisabeth de Charon de Saint-Germain. I'm the founder of Vocal Presence. As a voice alchemist, I connect professional women, entrepreneurs, change makers to their soul's voice and their soft power. So they do not no longer need to hide their true power and their true voice and start to bring out their power in a flow and in a joyous way, so that they can do what they really love and they can follow their passion without burning out. Because passion is a tricky thing. We all think that once we have found our passion and our purpose, everything will be all right. But we have been learning ways to succeed in life that are very masculine. And a lot of what we own authentically as women, as incredible powers, are still not really recognized for the strength they have. It is like I've discovered ways tuning in to how do you bring your voice to life, because your voice is intact, it's perfect, it is like your soul, it is beautiful, and the only thing that stands in the way of it is pressure, is fear, is a one-sided approach. And this is actually what we women bring as one of our biggest gifts to this world, that we never have a one-sided approach. Even in our cycle, we go through many different stages. Our hormones change, and not only that, but it's the whole way how we stand in the world. And it is connected to the moon, it's connected to the phases of the moon. And it gives us an opportunity to reach the full spectrum of life. And what we've been learning is that in order to have success, follow your passion. A lot of tools, a lot of ways of succeeding has been based on the successes we have seen before. But it is not really long that we as women have had the opportunity to really go into the world and do what we love and bring change. We have done it before, but it was with a lot of oppression. And that still runs in our minds. And I think it's beautiful that our grandmothers and well, not even very long ago, we really had to fight to get to a place where we are now, where we have a lot of opportunities. There's still a huge pay gap. There's no doubt. There's really a lot to go to, but there are so many situations where we feel so alone, and there's still this feeling that there's not enough place to really go and stand in the light, because either I take it away from somebody, another woman, or another woman is taking it away from me. And that is the most sad thing that is still working in our minds and in our society. And we really need to address that with each other. And we really need to celebrate everybody's win. Every woman's win is a win for all of us. your passion, or try to find your voice in a way that is only about breaking through the walls or breaking through whatever, and not see that it is about sharing, it is about uplifting others, it is about being able to find your tribe, and finding the balance inside of yourself to find ways where you go alone but are championed by others, by finding a network, and to own up to what you really, really want and what you really have to say that is so about your soul's calling, and ask others to be of service for that idea. Well, I work with 5 women power types, and the 5 women power types are archetypes actually, and you can see them behind me. So they're the queen, the sorceress, the mother, the lover, and the warrioress. And they stand for power to really hone in there and find how you can move and when you speak, when you use all that in your business, in your personal life, in your relationships and all, in building communities, in building a network that stands behind you, that really gets what you're all about and that wants to champion you, and also you championing other women and men, of course, but let's keep it at the space there. We really need to embrace each other more. And so I work with it, and I use that in the voice work and in the one of many women's coaching. And well, when you own up to that whole range, you can show up without having to hide, because we hide in very genius ways. Sometimes we hide when we are full on stage, and we're still hiding because we show up with just a snippet of what we really are, and we leave the vulnerable us out. I do not say we need to cry and do everything on stage, but when it really, when that is what's actually happening inside, the point of not hiding is that you do not have to hide who you really are and what you are at that moment, and bringing the power of those women power types so you can give the energy that you were supposed to give and that you wanted to bring to the table. That gives you so much confidence to stand up and do what you really have to, instead of letting fear hold you down, mute you, or change what you really want to say. So for instance, for me, I have been a voice alchemist since I was very, very little. I heard people, and I knew exactly what was going on. I think my throat chakra is very open, and I can feel it all. And my gift is that I can connect it with source and with my body, actually. So I can feel what's going on, and then I've gathered so much knowledge about it. So, and well, that gives me an insight of that almost seems magical. It isn't really. It's really listening and having a lot of knowledge. But I tried so hard to suppress that little genius that I have. I tried to suppress that. I tried to be just a singer. I've been in business for very, very long. I've had a wellness institute, holistic wellness institute. And I I was very successful at that. We have an organic farm still, and sometimes you can hear the beep, beep, beep. Well, that is the store that we still own, and I very much love that. But the thing that was really me, the voice alchemist, because it works in everything. It doesn't matter if I am in the store, if I were giving massages, if I was teaching, it's always there. And like you, that is one special gift that I bring, and I know you have very special gifts. And it doesn't have to be mind-blowing, but it is that one thing or the several things that you bring, the talents that you're sort of afraid to really show. Because one of the things is when we show up, when we show our face, people can criticize us, people can ridicule us. It is the thing that makes you most you. And it takes a lot of courage to show that to the world. Because that is the final nakedness. To show up with the most precious thing you have to give to the world. But the thing is, if you do not do that, if you hide that, if you don't find a way to really honor what brought you here, it will do you harm. There's a real loneliness and a real loss when we do not get to see that. And it's for you, but it's also for the world around you. And you know this, because otherwise you would not have been looking at this. So I just want you to know there are ways that you can show up with all that you are in a safe way, because you bring you in a way that's really powerful, and you own who you are, and just be happy with it. And yes, people can think whatever they want to think, but you know what? There are so much more people who you make incredibly happy because you do it, than people who might think something of it, or even do not want you in their neighborhood anymore. Let it be, because you have this life, this gift, and this talent, and you want to bring it forward. Because if you don't, there will never be a moment that you really start to thrive. You will survive. You will get to a place where you might feel happy, but this real feeling of satisfaction, of abundance of who you are, and abundance of what is around you, that will come once you show up in your real power, in your real voice. So what I wanted you to know is that you are wanted, and your gift is something we are waiting for. Your feeling that you want to change things in the world are real. They're not a fiction of your imagination. When you feel that you are called to something, it can be big, it can be small. There's not really a measurement around the quality of what a change might bring. If you bring you and your gift to the table in the education of your children, or even in a talk with your neighborhood kid, and give something there, or add an insight, that might be as big a change as wanting to run for office. Because in the end, we are all leaders. And when we show up, with who we are, we can lead. We can lead when we have to wait for an entrance to lead because we have small children and we do not want to work all the hours. We want to work a little bit. We want to be more at home. You still can lead. You can still be of so much value. And when it's time, you will feel when it's time to get out and do what you really want and do it in. Sometimes you want to do it in a big way. I always longed for a real enterprise. I work with a team. We try sometimes to start something very small, but it just grows, and that's my personality. It doesn't mean that is the way. It can be very small and very fulfilling. But the thing is, I want you to show up. I want you to stop hiding, because you have a voice and it wants to be heard. And you have a power. You have powers that wants themselves to develop to what all that you are capable of, all that you can bring. And it is an exciting time to get out there or do it inside and lead and be who you are and share that. So if you want to work with me, I really would love that. You can sign up to see if we are a fit. I don't think I'm a fit for everybody. But if you really feel this inner calling and you can see that there's a source part of you that wants to come through, or when you have a wonderful ability and you are struggling because you have been burned out before, and you think, oh my God, when I do this, what will happen if I go out there again? Will I again fall down? There are many reasons, and it can be around voice, it can be about soft power, it can be about both. So of course you can contact me, that's one thing. You can also look for a free gift that I have. I have several free gifts on my website. Just look at that, and if I in any way have inspired you to own up to your voice and own up to your full power, it was my pleasure and my joy to be with you for this short time.